Okay, so this is the staff. It's a little bit shorter than a typical staff. It's maybe 2.5, 3 meters long. So the staff is made out of white waxwood. You want to find a staff that's a good diameter for you. For a lot of people, to start this staff, in particular, it's 3 or 4 centimeters in diameter. It's probably pretty heavy for a lot of people to do at start. So the point of the staff isn't so much to make it shake, although you'll see that happen. And it's more to develop your internal and external coordination. So the staff is made out of white waxwood because it's flexible. And that flexibility allows us to control the energy and allow it to do certain techniques. If the staff were inflexible, like some other types of staffs are, it wouldn't have the same techniques that we can do. So the techniques of the staff for us come from the spear. Okay, so basically the staff is a spear in our mind with the tip cut off. There are 3 major techniques. There's thrusting, blocking, and controlling. There are others as well. I'll demonstrate some of them for you. So first thing, I'll just show you some basic things. So first, when you're holding the staff, maybe from this direction is easier to start. So you want to hold at the very end, okay? So you don't want to be up here holding it. So you want to make sure that when you have a staff that you can hold it from back here. And you want to have a fairly wide grip, okay? So from here, so my back arm here is palm down, my front arm is palm up. Now the back arm is going to grip. The front arm, depending on which leg is in front, doesn't have to. You actually don't really want to grab because we don't typically, you can, but we don't typically thrust like this, okay? Certainly you can, but that's not part of the training that we do in the Yang family school, okay? Or at least as far as Master Yang has shown us. So the footwork, we typically go into a bow step. You want to make sure that you have a good solid foundation, all right? So you want to make sure that your quad is open enough, all right? And that you can use that softness. So one of the major things that can happen with the staff is you can injure yourself in your elbow, your back, places like that. So be really careful not to use too much strength when holding the staff and thrusting it out. Especially don't lock the elbow. That's probably one of the biggest mistakes people make. And you'll be out of training for a few weeks until you heal. All right, so would it be easier from that direction?
No, that's okay.
So first thing is when we are thrusting the staff, we go out, back, out, back, out, back, out, back, okay? So you use more your body structure to hold the staff than your muscles. And so it's maybe easier to do it with empty hands at first. So here, you're holding the staff, you're going to come forward, rotate your palm up, okay? So you want to turn your torso mostly square, okay? And then here, you're going to shift your weight back and rotate the palm out. So that's really the majority of what we do. But focus on the coordination. You want the power to come from the legs, right? So you're not like that, right? So it's not the upper body. We want to make sure that the technique is whole body, right? So from here, forward, rotate the palm up, okay? Going back, rotate the palm down. Forward, back, forward, back. And you want to make sure you use your full stance. And so when you do end up using the staff, I'll go from this direction because it might be easier to see. You're starting to practice your Fa-Jing, okay? Presumably you've been doing single postures for a while before you pick this up. Okay, so from here, thrust, okay, and then you're going to retract. Thrust, and every time you do it, it's one breath, okay? So you don't want to do, and then inhale. Inhale. So you want it to be exhale. Every time you use the energy, you show the energy, you want exhale. Okay, so from here, you'll see the tip of the staff shake slightly. So here, out. Then here, and as I retract the staff, you see it moving in this horizontal way. Okay, and that's what you want. So you need to develop focusing the energy in that direction. So you use the front arm to control the energy. The back arm sort of sends the energy out. The front arm controls how it looks, okay? So from here, and sort of controls the direction. So thrust. Okay, and then we have block. Okay, so the next one, before we were just going straight back, forward and back. The next one we're going to go to the corner here. So here. Okay, so this one, you have the idea of deflecting an opponent's weapon to the side, okay? The next one we'll do is called covering. So from here, you can do it from, the next one is covering. You can do that from thrust, when it's out, back, down, okay, you can also do it from block, okay, so I like to think of it as like you have a shirt or a coat at the end of your staff and you're trying to fling it off. And you can see as I go back here, I'm going to start the covering. Big circle. You can see my left hand here. It's mostly open until I change, and then I grab. It's almost like a roll back. Okay, that's the feeling that I get when I do this move. Okay, so down and around. So focus a lot on this sort of stirring. You're going to use that a lot in some of the other techniques. Now, don't practice this, too much. You're gonna take the skin off the palm of your hands if you're not careful. You have to make sure that the staff is dry, otherwise you'll feel burning. Okay, it really does cause a lot of friction. So some other ways we can use the staff, right? So you can just go from here and then around to the other side, and then if we had more room, I could go overhead. So then you have 4 corners, right? So from here, there, again, make sure that you have enough overhead space to swing the staff around. So, really, if you're going to start, if this is your first time trying it, just holding the staff, getting used to going back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. Even that little bit, you can see I can make the staff shake a little bit. So it's not so much about using your physical power, but more your body from the root, back, Once you start to get the feeling, then you can sort of add a little bit. So make sure that you're working a little bit on the Fa Jing practice and the single postures before you start. Because then you can really feel the energy coming from the floor, because that's where it's all coming from, right? So that's the same, you know. It's oh, hit the couch. Okay, so the saying goes that the energy is issued from the root, is developed in the legs, controlled by the waist, and expressed in the hands, or wherever else you're sending energy. Okay? All right, so that's it for the staff. Oh, look at that one.